Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video we're gonna cover about what basically is label encoding and what basically is one hot encoding. So why do we use label encoding? Why do we not use label encoding sometime? Instead of that we go for one hot encoding. So why it is? So basically there is some time when people try to compare, like when you are a child, so you have learned that 2 is greater than 1. How do you know that? Because we always start counting from 0. It's like 0, 1, 2, 3, and we know that 4 is greater than 3 and 3 is greater than 2, something like that. The machine learning always deal with the numbers, like mostly it will deal with the number. And whenever we have something object data type, or we called it as a categorical variable, so on that time the machine we have to manually transform that categorical data into numerical data by some means. So we have some standard scalars also, we have something called min max scalar. So while doing so, that's a min max scalar and standard scalars are for, like, people almost got confused about this scalar techniques. So the basically scalar techniques I will cover in the upcoming videos, but for a brief idea I will tell you that whenever the data set, like if you have a numerical data and if you have to deal with the larger value of that numerical data, you use scalar techniques. But whenever you have categorical data, categorical means you have name or something like apple, like here you can see that we have apple, chicken, broccoli. So this is categorical data. So in order to deal these things, we have to use something called label encoding, one hot encoding, and otherwise you can use pandas function that's called get dummies also. So why we try to avoid label encoding? Because whenever we try to use label encoding, it's try to give a categorical number, like apple has number 1, chicken has number 2, and broccoli has number 3. But machine learning doesn't know that we are giving a unique number, but machine number thinks that here 3 can be greater than 2 and 2 can be greater than 1. But in real life we can't say that broccoli is greater than chicken and chicken is greater than apple. Like, does it making sense to you? So it doesn't make any sense that broccoli is greater than chicken and chicken is greater than apple. So instead of that we try to avoid label encoding and we try to use one hot encoding. So here we have apple, which is assigned as 1, and other columns are 0 0. For chicken we have apple as 0 and chicken as 1 and broccoli as 0, and for this broccoli we have 0 as apple, chicken as 0, and broccoli as 1. So yeah, we try to avoid you understood that why we try to avoid label encoding and why we go for one hot encoding. So let me show you how to use that. So we can directly, I won't run this program here. In the next video I will show you how to run this part here, because I have already made a thing here. I'm using a Titanic dataset. If you don't know about Titanic dataset, I will put the dataset in the description. You can go and check it out from there. So if you want me to show some dataset, I will show you that. So I have a Titanic dataset where we have something called passenger ID, survived, P class, name, sex, age, SIBSP, parts, ticket, fare, cabin, and M mark. So I will go very brief here. So we don't need passenger ID because it's the same as the index value. So we will try to remove this passenger ID. So we need survive, we need P class, because P class, like passenger class, is important. So we will try to remove the name, because name doesn't matter to us, because we doesn't want to like calculate the person name Harry survive or not. We are talking in general that people having good like what visualization we can get here. The people, like, we can think like that. Whenever in machine learning you have to think more about visualization. So here we can like make intuitions that the male survived less than female, because male care more for their family, so they thought of taking care of their families first and making them feel that they are secure, then they can feel better. So yeah, male have survived less than female. So it's the basic kind of visuals we are getting from this data set. So we are trying to drop ticket, so we doesn't need any ticket, so we are trying to drop ticket. And when we try to get the null values, so we have from the 891 column we have 687 cabin data missing, so we try to drop that also. And yeah, let's get into this label encoding and that one hot encoding I was talking about. So in order to do so, we just have to use sklearn. and dot pre-processing, then import label encoder. So now we have to, as it's a very simple process, you have to create an object for label encoder. Like I have created le equals to label encoder. Then I'm trying to convert the gender. Like we have gender, as you can see that here we have gender. Sex is like male female. So we are trying to convert the gender, like male as a 0 or female as 1, or vice versa, like what makes you feel good, so you can do that. So here, sorry, yeah, so I'm trying to convert the gender. I'm trying to this object le dot fit transform of data of sex, and that I'm storing in gender column. You got it right? I'm creating another column name as gender, and I'm transforming the data dot sex into the data of gender. So I have created another column to put the data into that. So I want to give a tips to you guys. So whenever you try to do this, try to split the data into test and train before doing this kind of encoding or anything, because there is something called data leakage. Okay, let me skip this part, the data leakage, and I will cover this data leakage part in the upcoming video so that you can get a clear idea. And yes, and the same for one hot encoding. You have to just do the same step from sklearn or pre-processing, import one hot encoder, then you have to create one object. I have created ohe equals to one hot encoder, then I have fit transform that embark data. So we have sc. So here we have seen like a unique thing. Okay, let me see. Yeah, we have something called sc. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, we have sc and q. I think we have 3 datas here. So it's converted into, I have converted into 2 array that's showing me 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1, so that you can see here. So yeah, and one more thing, as I have told you, you can do the same thing as by using get dummies in the pandas function. So I have created another like df1, where I am trying to get the pd dot get dummies and data embarked drop first true. So what this basically drop first true. So whenever you try to duplicate the rows, like how we are trying to 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1, there is something called duplicacy error. Okay, whenever you try to get, like if you have 4 datas, okay, we have 3 datas. Let's consider this example. We have SCQ here. So for S we have this column, first column, and for C we have this second column, and for Q we have this third column. Instead of doing so, we have to train our model for the longer time, because the all 3 column will be processed. In order to reduce the time complexity, and in order to reduce the error, we can drop one column, drop first by removing one column, and by dropping that column we can, whenever the all datas are 0, like if you are getting me, if it is 0 0, then obviously the last one should be 1. Like all the datas are 0, then obviously the last data will be 1. So it's a something called pattern. You will get, I will try to get an example and will show you for that. Like as you can see that we have dot scq, we don't have c here, so it's 0 1 and the data will be 0 here for c. And for the first index, it's 0 0. Then it's obvious that the one value for the c, it will be 1. Yeah, you are getting me right? Yeah, it's the same thing. So in this video, let me conclude this all the topic. We have learned what the basic label encoding, what is one hot encoding, and we have learned how to use from sklearn library, that is called one hot encoding. We have learned how to use label encoding, and I have told you how to use get dummies also, and I explained you about something called data leakage, and I didn't properly explain you about that. I will try to make a separate video on that, because it's a very huge topic itself. And I try to explain you about something called min max scaler and standard scaler we use in the term of numerical values, so that we can reduce the range for that, and we can get in a range of, okay, whenever we use min max scaler, it will lies between 1 here 0 to 1, and whenever we use standard scaler, it can go in minus value, is minus 1 to 1, the range will be minus 1 to 1. So yeah, that's all for this video. If you like this video and this video by any mean helped you a lot, so give us a thumbs up, and meet you in the next video. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.